Your boy Truth It here to address any and all things when it's time to, and it's time to. And by my side, I got the one, the only, too real to be phony. Trooper Joe is in the building.
Hey, folks, morning. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love it, love it. You, love you, and you way in the background there. Love all you people. I know you know it's all on tape, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Troop, we got some stuff we need to discuss today. Charlottesville, there's still some fallout from the first Charlottesville tiki torch carrying
Tiki torch.
protest and anti-protest. One man who was on camera being beaten by 5 or 6 white men is now being charged with assaulting one of them.
That's just crazy.
Yep.
And you know, he's probably being charged because that one person probably brought charges against him and nobody else was. They were just out there doing their thing.
That's exactly what happened. The one person, one of the people said, "Oh, before the camera started rolling, I was attacked by him, and it's even though it's his word against his, and there's no evidence, he's being charged."
He could beat you, but it's kind of stupid because, you know, when the camera was rolling, they see what happened. Now the boy, all his lawyer's going to say, now let's file a civil suit against these people, especially this one, because they is right there. See,
yep.
Everybody else is hiding behind their little girls and their little ninja masks and tiki things.
Yep. We kind of forgot about all the stuff that happened in Charlottesville because of all the natural disasters. And speaking of natural disasters, I didn't mention that we were going to talk about it this morning. But with all that's going on in California and those wildfires and 29 people dead now, our condolences to all of those people that lost their lives in the wildfires. Man, natural disasters are really taking the country by storm.
Mother Nature's upset. I would like to know what's going on in that place. My wife has to go out there. Next week. She'll be in that area if the it's for humanism program that she's going through and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to this one, because I didn't sign up. So, I would be out there, or she'll be out there right in the area where it's happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
hopefully the place is still standing.
Right. Yes. Hopefully, things. She has a trip and she's able to actually go on the trip, and that the trip is safe, and she makes it there and back.
Yeah.
100%.
And they don't know what started it. They said there's no evidence of lightning strikes or any of those things like that. I think it might have just been. I don't think it was a campfire. Could have been a campfire. I think it was an accident by the Marine base that's up there.
Usually when it's a campfire, they find the evidence of it, don't they?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking this. To me, I'm saying this was heavy wind and stuff, and I could be that there's a Marine base in that mountain area that does a lot of heavy duty kind of off the cuff, outside the norm type of training and stuff, and they may have accidentally caused this.
Okay. Well, our condolences to everybody who's lost their lives in the wildfire, and Congress is already, starting to get money ready to send for the relief efforts for the people who've lost everything in California. So, we hope Godspeed to everybody.
I hope everybody, I hope they come through this and it's good, and then rebuild.
Yep.
You can't really defend against stuff like that. That's all you can do is defend against it. But if the wind picks up, what are you going to do? Yell at the wind? Can't stop it. It moves that fire just like you would push a marble across this table.
Right. Yeah. So the fires, that's what's going on. Also, speaking of California, it could be God. You never know. Upset with Californians because they just passed a law that if you knowingly infect someone else with the HIV virus, you will not be charged with a felony anymore.
That's just wrong.
Very wrong.
Stop it, people. Stop it.
I don't understand the thought process behind it, but we'll talk about that story as well. But to me, it is the dumbest thing you can do. I remember people were vindictive
Yeah.
that got infected with the virus and were angry about it and went and tried to infect other people.
Yeah.
So purposely,
Became a lethal weapon. You throw blood at people, urine, all kinds of body fluids and stuff like that on people.
Right.
I'm sure these tiki carrying things, that's what they think this happening. Maybe not, when you're throwing bottles of urine at police at these rallies and stuff.
Yep.
How come there's no complaints about that?
I do not know. I don't know. I just don't know what the thought process is with some people and some lawmakers and why they would actually go for something like that.
I don't know. I don't either. It's like the world, like they said in the Batman, the first, this place needs an enema.
Yeah. Right. Also, Mike Ditka, Hall of Fame football player and Hall of Fame coach, said that there has not been any oppression in the past 100 years. 100 years. So from 1917, going through the 60s, going through a lot of things that's happened in this country, there's been no oppression up till today.
Play on words, folks. He's tricking you with words.
He's playing on stupid. I think he's playing on.
I bet he's playing on individual as composed to collective.
Right.
You know?
And also, a college student is dismissed from the team. He's kicked off the team for kneeling, and I agree with the team.
I agree with the team, too.
So we have a lot that we need to cover, a lot we need to talk about on Truth in the Ham, and let's just get right into it.
And don't forget the school system.
That's the very first story that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
The school system, state education chief of Massachusetts says Massachusetts must regain urgency. Issuing a call for urgency in the face of complacency over the success of the state's public education system, Massachusetts Secretary of Education James A. Pizer on Thursday outlined the state's government's efforts to improve career training, early childhood education quality, and other key areas. Speaking at the 32nd annual meeting of Worcester Regional Research Bureau held at the DCU Center, Mr. Pizer started his speech by arguing an oft-pointed to distinction for Massachusetts. The superiority of its schools compared to other states has also been its vulnerability in recent years. Do you see any vulnerability in the school system in Massachusetts?
I don't know what he meant by vulnerability, but the Massachusetts school system, the public school system, I'd have to agree. I don't have statistics to bet. It's got to be the worst system I've ever seen in my life. The worst system I've ever watched develop. I watched it develop for me. I went there, then I watched my kids. I'm watching the grandkids. They ain't going there. They go to Catholic school. I watched this and you know what the strange part about it is?
What's that?
We got the most expensive schools in the country here too. Harvard, all these things. We got BC, we got BC High, we got all kinds of expensive over-the-top schools. And for the public school system, they don't teach either. That's what the whole thing is. They need to start really teaching. And I don't care if the little teachers get their little feelings hurt or anything like that. If you're going to be a teacher, teach.
Right.
If you're going to be a social worker, then go ahead and do some social working type of things and trying to show kids how to be morally correct and this. But if you're going to be a teacher and you went to school to teach history, teach history.
Right.
Geography, teach geography. You know, whatever it is. It's really why are you being a teacher if you want to teach the kids? Well, you should sit up straight, fold your hands, and no bullying. And we're going to have a whole segment for the rest of the school year on bullying and a whole segment on sitting up straight. And we'll get back to the history of the United States. So if you want the history, have your folks watch CNN.
Right.
You know?
Yep. You got to learn from some other means.
Yeah.
But still, it's the best state in the country in terms of education.
Yeah, because if they base it on money and tests,
Mm-hmm.
you, I don't, and I never believe that you can cookie cut kids and teach them to a test. It doesn't work. Somebody's cheating someplace.
Yep. So the success of the schools in Worcester is also hollow in some areas. Mr. Pizer cited that, for example, statistics showing the achievement gap between the state's white students and students of color was actually one of the widest in the country and less impressive in certain contexts. On an international stage, for example, Massachusetts is good, but far from the best at educating its students, global assessments have shown, he said. That, to me, is alarming. I never knew that black people or people of color, the graduation rate is the widest compared to its white counterparts in the country. I never knew that.
I didn't know how wide it was. I didn't know it was the widest, but I know that black students, especially black males, don't really graduate from high schools.
Yep.
They don't go to high school.
Nope.
And I think that's a whole cultural thing that needs to be changed. I watched a couple of my friends around here, and I see their kid. What are you aspiring to be when you grow up? 12 years. I'm gonna be a basketball player. You're 4 foot nothing.
Yep. I want to be a rapper.
I want to be a rapper. You can't even talk.
Right.
It's like, what? That's it? Yeah. That's what it's like. That's wrong.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of wrong that comes with it more than just school.
Right.
The whole cultural attitudes among some of the way that some of the black kids are being raised today.
Yep.
And some of that is because their parents, instead of being grown up, isn't 21 anymore. It's almost 50.
Yep, it is. Like you said, the people in their 30s and their 40s still living at home with their parents.
Yeah, it's like, really?
Yep.
It's like in your 40s, and then, I don't know, there's 19-year-old, he's just a child, he's just 19?
Right.
You're full grown.
Not full grown in the common sense area, but full grown nonetheless.
Well, and that's another thing. This is what we try to do with that cookie cutting type of thing. We try to make it so everybody's supposed to be like something like that. You say common sense. You have to develop this common sense. You can't develop the common sense attitude in the world attitude and how to interact socially with people and stuff by being directed all the time. All you're doing now is mimicking somebody else's idea.
Right.
You don't know how do you interact with somebody who's come from an Asian culture, or somebody who comes from a Middle Eastern culture, or somebody who comes from a European culture. If you don't know any of those people, you never interacted with them. You never asked them You never asked them, what do you eat?
Right.
You never asked them, what did your grandparents wear and stuff. The curiosity isn't there.
Yep.
The sensitivity is trying to be taught from the school teachers. You have to you have to be sensitive towards everybody else's culture. But I don't know nothing about that.
Right. How can you be sensitive towards something you have no education about? You're right.
Yeah.
But Charlie Baker's administration is trying to recapture the state's momentum, identifying several key areas where the public education system needs to be stronger. Specifically, in his speech, he pointed to 5 categories: reinforcing the foundation of the state's 93 reform, improving the quality of early education programming, empowering students and teachers, expanding STEM, and career pathways, and addressing the college affordability crisis. And if any state needs to address the college affordability crisis, it is this state, because it is very expensive to go to school in Massachusetts.
I think that's going to widen that gap you talked about between the whites and the black. I think that's going to widen that gap till it becomes an abyss that they're going to take old Lucifer out of that abyss that God put him in and put him in this abyss, because it's going to be that wide and that deep. I don't see that benefiting the poor neighborhoods at Oh,
Well, true. You know, there's a phrase for what we're talking about, and there's a phrase that we're describing,
What's
and it's that phrase that you don't believe exists,
white
and it's
privilege?
called white privilege. Troop. I don't know what any if there's any other examples
It's
of
called-
white privilege
No.
happening now than this right here in front of you.
Now this is called "This Makes My State Look Good" and it brings in money and stuff like that. That ain't got nothing to do with privilege.
Oh, wait,
it
look.
got to do with money.
When the gap is the widest in the country, but you have the best. How can you have the best educational system where only white people are graduating?
Only the people with money. It's not just white people. It's the people with money. Because you notice I said them poor people. That's what's going to widen the gap.
And who are the poor people?
The black and the minorities and the whites.
No.
Lots of
It
poor
sounds
whites.
like
I know them.
a lot of poor whites are still graduating. So then, why is the gap so wide? The gap is wide.
They're not graduating. The ones that are graduating are the people with the money. Kids that have money to go to the paid charter school. Kids that go to private school. You know,
They're all white people.
because the family got the money.
That's privilege, Troop. Having
No.
money is a privilege.
It ain't no, I ain't gonna just argue the privilege thing, but it's not
Yes.
a privilege. Somebody somewhere took the initiative to make money.
And had someone somewhere had the opportunity to make money, and others don't have that opportunity.
I don't know.
Some
about
have the
op-
opportunity to get that education. Others don't have that opportunity.
All I know is somebody
Yep.
somewhere
Yep.
took the initiative to make money.
Or took the opportunity.
The opportunity, the initiative. The opportunity is there. If you don't seize the moment, then you're on you.
So
Not
you
on-
think
not
all the
on
black people
society.
that aren't graduating at the rate of white people, they're just not seizing the moment?
If the only thing you want to be is a rapper and a basketball player, you're not seizing the moment.
Okay.
You're not seizing
Okay.
the moment.
All right.
You know, and shame on your parents. They didn't seize the moments, and the grandparents. They may have seized the moments. I think it stopped with the grandparents, but it wasn't really transferred down. And it got lost someplace to where now, and then they put in No Child Left Behind. If you can't
Yep.
write your name, you don't graduate.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
You have to at least be able to read. If you don't, the STEM programs, we should have been. I was advocating for STEM programs 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The STEM programs is something that has to be done, not should be, has to be done. We're in a scientific age now.
Okay.
You know, they're making the evaluations and bringing out good reports on self-driving cars. This speaks a lot to me. They got drones to go over and take a look, and they can go down and look at one grape to see if there's a little infested bug on there or something. You know, oh, that's the wrong bug. And then, oh, kill it.
Yep.
You know, they can. This says that there's not going to be the menial laborious jobs that some people would have had and been able to make some money in the future. So all that does is just increases the amount of poverty, and that's for everybody, white, black, everybody except rich. If you got money, and unless you're stupid, you're gonna your prodigy's gonna have money. They're gonna be able to do things,
Mm-hmm.
but you're gonna have to pay for it. And if you're living in the inner city and you don't have any money, then you can't pay for it. And that's it. So you have to improve on the public school system so they're teaching, not testing. They're teaching, they're exposing. They're one thing I never hear anybody talk about,
Yep.
and it really makes me kind of just scratch my head, is creativity. It's a God-given gift, creativity.
It is.
Everybody has an innate something that they're perfectly capable of being the genius in. But then when you go to a school that just works on cognitive regurgitation, that creativity is stifled to where you forget about it.
Right. But I think the problem is that we don't have enough teachers. We don't have. We might need more schools, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Because
Better schools.
Yeah, better schools. Because to have a child have that much individual focus to strengthen their personal and particular and unique strengths,
Yeah.
you need you need less than 30 kids in a class.
Yeah.
And so that I think that's one of the big problems.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything that you're saying. But I'm saying practically, it's impossible. It reminds me of working at a nursing home where they want you to get 8 people up from between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Get 8 people up, make sure they're dressed, showered, and out of bed and ready in 1 hour. 8 people. That's 10 minutes with one person.
Get
it's
your
impossible.
old wrinkly behind out that bed.
Unfortunately, some of them are crippled and they need wheelchair bound, and it's just impossible to do. To spend 10 minutes with each resident, less than 10 minutes because you have 8 to get ready. Well, it's just not enough time and not enough manpower.
Well, that's where you're not utilizing what you have. Just because they're old and they're in the nursing home don't mean that they're stupid. They can help each other. What's wrong with that? Now that they're helping each other, that privilege is being spread around. They're not going to be responsible for doing somebody who's crippled or something like that.
Yep.
That's your job. But somebody who's just ambulatory and just getting out of bed, somebody else could just be talking to them that's already dressed. How you doing? Here's your shoes.
Yeah.
And just thinking, they're people. They're not little cardboard cutouts or the little dolls that stand in the corner. What's those dolls? Cabbage Patches.
Yes, Cabbage Patch Kids. So to improve so in terms of bolstering the state's reform initiatives, Mr. Pizer referred for attention for the administration's efforts last year to begin addressing the state aid formula for schools, which has become insufficient for many districts to meet the increasingly complex needs of their students, which is what we just talked about.
Yeah.
Their complex need. The governor's budget for the current fiscal year included a tweak of the health insurance calculation that provided millions of more dollars for schools, he pointed out, although many systems, including Worcester, have been asking for more expansive changes. They should have put their money towards more private schools.
Yeah.
I mean, charter schools.
I think charter schools are a good way to go.
Yep.
I think if you really want to develop a charter school, I think you have to have the people's engagement in it.
Yes.
You just can't say we're going to have a charter school, hooray for us. You have to have mama and daddy engaged in that.
Yeah.
They have to be fully involved in that there. And then the charter school has to, they say, well, I want my teachers to look like, my students. So if I got black kids, I want black teachers. Come on, you want the best teachers you can get. If they're black, get a black one. If it's a white, get a white one. If it's from Mars, get a Martian one.
Mm-hmm.
You want the best teachers that you can possibly get. And settling for nothing left. That's what you want. You don't go below that line. You don't go, well, I think that the kids should have identities with other people who look like them. You're going into social stuff.
Right.
It's like, don't always revert back to this social stuff when you're trying to educate the kids on the future of the world. Stay focused. Stay on the future of the world.
Right. To improve early education, the state has provided additional money for centers, which I think all Worcester needs desperately.
Yeah.
They need more centers, more after-school programs.
After school.
What they need is those same teachers that are working to work those after-school programs, or not equally as gifted or as educated teachers. It doesn't have to be the same teachers. I'm not saying teachers have to work 8 hours a day teaching the kids and then stay and work another 3 or 4 hours after school, but if you get more people hired and more people educated to become teachers, and then they work specifically night places where it's centers, that you work the centers after school to maybe 6 or 7 o'clock where these kids can go to instead of running the streets, that could be helpful.
Yeah, I think after school programs should be done by people, not the teachers.
Yeah,
that's all you're doing now is you're just extending. Here, we're going to work on getting this test so everybody can pass the test. That's all you need people that's really going to engage themselves and do. Let's do robot Legos after school program.
Right.
Let's have an ecology after school program that goes down. They're all over the place too. Go down there and here's how you do water and testing and all these things. And this should be done by people.
Yes, explain why why they have to regurgitate all this information they're being fed all day. Oh, well, you learned about mathematics in school today. Well, let me show you. Let's play with this computer and put this computer together. See, you have to know your numbers to know how this computer works and how things come together. Things like that to further enhance and give them a better understanding of why they have to learn all the things in school they have to learn. And it could be an extension of it.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things that's amazing to me is that the people themselves, the parents, the adults don't get involved in that, but everybody want to coach football.
Yep.
You know, all the little daddies want to be the football coach, the hockey coach, the basketball coach. They're not getting paid.
Nope, they're not.
You know, they're not school connected, and they got all kinds of huge sports things out there like that. After school sports program. You do the same thing with education.
Yep.
Because there are some kids who like to build and make things. They're called the billionaires of today.
Yep.
You know, there were kids that were called the geeky kids, you know, and everybody just laughs at that. It's like, why are you continually laughing at that? And then you laugh at all the geeky kids, remember them and everything? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're right over there. See that big giant house up there? He owns the house and the whole balcony.
Right.
You know?
I think another thing that they need to do, schools as well, is they need to, I like the format of Worcester Tech, where they have shop week, and then they have education week, regurgitation information week, and then they have the week where you learn hands-on and stuff, like business. My daughter, she's in the business management course, and every other week she goes and she just focuses right on that, so it could be a possible career choice for her when she goes to college. And I know they say, oh, well, that's only half the academic week that other schools have. It's the best school in the city. Yeah,
you know, because if you're just teaching for the test, then it's only half the academic curriculum.
Right.
If you're teaching to give the kids a fighting chance in life, it's over a full curriculum, you know, because that's the part that's creative. And you know, without that creative thing, and this is something that I think that gets missed a lot too, the kids don't feel included.
Nope, they don't.
You know, that's always been, you know, the geeks. That's why they have geeky clubs, and they have the jocks, and they have the collegiates, and they have all these different kind of, you know, little subcultures within school. But you know, they don't have those anymore. You're either going to be the basketball player, or you're going to be the cutie pies.
Yep.
You know,
it's my way or the highway. For the teachers, I mean, and for the students. For the teachers, it's my way or the highway. And then the students don't feel like they have any power. They feel like for those 8 hours, they're almost like in a prison.
That happened to my grandson. He's in a good Catholic school. Mm-hmm. And then they got recess, but he didn't want to, he doesn't like playing. Mm-hmm. He wanted to read a book. He was reading a book. He was engaged with the teachers up there. Don't you want to go play with the kids and everything? No, I want to finish my book.
See, they're worried about just getting a break from all the kids. That's what they are. They're worried about they don't want to sit around with the kid.
Yeah, he perfectly content over there reading the book. And, you know, they think, well, you'll be bullied and stuff. No, he ain't going to be bullied. He's working on a brown belt in karate. They know what he can do. Mm-hmm. And he likes reading the book. It's like, okay, go over there and play kick the ball. Don't want to play kick the ball. He wants to read a book.
Well, what do you think about this statement? If you ask most researchers, they'll tell you school quality has less to do with students' success than factors like parents' education level, family income, and geographic location.
I think there's something to do with two of those.
What two?
The family income and the geographic location.
Yep.
I think, but then it got twisted. The Northeast should be the hub of education.
Okay.
We got the biggest, brightest, best colleges all over the place. wait. I did this it was what class was that? I think it was an archaeology class or something.
Mm-hmm.
I had a map of Boston, and what I did, I put the map on the little corkboard and stuff, and then I blindfold and I throw dots.
Okay.
There was like on 10 dots, there was like 7 schools I hit.
Okay.
There's no reason for there not to be, these are college kind of institutions and high. There's no reason for the education in Boston to be like that. It's
right.
the mecca of education.
It is.
They got the best schools in anything you want. They got Berkeley for music. They got Harvard. They got MIT for science. They have just schools all over the place. You just can't get away from them.
Right. Well, at least you know one thing is true. When you are the best, you have to keep the pressure on yourself to stay the best. You can't stay the best just walking around and saying it because you are at the moment. No. Once you're the best, you have everyone else gunning for you to take that spot as the best. So you have to focus on yourself and find ways to improve yourself and stay strengthened as the best.
But that's where that creativity gets lost, and that's where that inclusion doesn't come about. Because even and now I'll give a kudos to the public school system up here. If somebody from the Northeast in the public school system goes down to Arkansas or something like that, they're in the AP class.
Okay.
They would be in the higher level learning class because they've been taught more up here on the regurgitative type of stuff.
Yep.
But the regurgitative type of stuff, it ends in the 12th grade up here. They're not giving them enough to be able to go into colleges and stuff up here. But it looks great when you look at Arkansas, Mississippi.
Yep. It does.
Iowa, all these places. It looks fantastic.
Right. You know what? I would like to look at the numbers for places like Harvard, but I'm willing to bet that less people, minorities that live in the area, the general area of Massachusetts, go to Harvard than people from other countries like Korea.
I got to Harvard, and in the class, most of the time, I was the only black guy, and there was maybe 1 or 2 black girls that were American. Everybody else, almost everybody, even white people, they're from another country.
Right. Yep.
Well, one class over there, we talk about China and everything. She's the prime minister, or whatever you call it, of China's daughter.
Right.
She's sitting in the class with her bodyguards.
So you have the best. You have the best education in the country, but you're not teaching the people who actually live in the state.
No, you're not.
That's insane.
You're teaching people from all other walks of life, because the people in this state don't think they can go to Harvard. They think, I can't get in Harvard. It's too prestigious. It's too this. It's too that. No, it's all based on money, just like every other college out there. You want to go there, and your family got the money, and you got the money to spend to get in there, you can get in.
Well, I know a lot of those foreigners might be getting grants and stuff like that.
Oh, a lot of them foreigners are getting grants. A lot of them foreigners get grants because the Harvard institution is like this table. Here's the educational component.
Okay, your small piece.
The small. Here's all the investments of it.
Right.
Here's oil. Here's gold.
Yep.
Here's all these other investments in all these other countries and stuff like that.
I get it.
And it's all
funneled in
at Harvard.
Okay.
That's how Harvard does its thing. The education is this small little piece.
Yep.
That because education's education. It's much better. You get a better questions. You can ask better questions because you get better teachers.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you're smarter. They're stupid.
Okay.
I mean, some of them. How you gonna be stupid enough to call a bomb scare because you weren't ready for the midterm?
Yeah, that is pretty stupid.
On your cell phone.
That is pretty stupid.
You real stupid.
Right. Well,
here's my ID. Everybody, pull up my ID.
He's pulling out his Harvard ID. All right, here it is. He's going in his wallet for those listening.
Going, because I had to carry it. You couldn't walk on the campus without it, and I keep it in my. Down, this Harvard student right there. There he is. That's me.
Yep, Harvard student. Yep, he showed it. It's zoomed in.
And you can go there, and I'm just as stupid as a brick. I'm dumb enough to be losing ground when it comes to being smart, you know. So,
Okay.
But you can go there too. It ain't easy, but you can do it too. Anybody can. Anybody can. Don't let them fool you with all those different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's possible for everybody to go there if they want to.
Huh.
But it's hard work, and it takes time.
I think I want a Harvard ID.
ID?
I'll just make a fake one or something. I'll take a picture of you and make a fake one. Make myself feel smart.
Well, because they had all those terrorist things and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
all that. A lot of people grabbing on the Harvard girl students because they stupid. 2:00 in the morning, I'm going running. Okay.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of dumb by yourself outside along the Charllottesville River, and it's all dark. Okay, that's pretty smart, you know. So they made everybody on the campus, you have to carry your ID.
okay.
I think it's a lot of colleges you have to carry your ID. You know, they ask you why you here, why you here. You just show them the ID, and then you say, okay, I'm on my way to class.
All right. I think what we'll do now is we'll take a break. We spent a half an hour on that subject. Take a break and be back on Truth It in the AM.